All right, folks, welcome to the runningrestaurants.com podcast. We're bringing the tips, tools, and techniques you need to know to make your restaurant more profitable and more successful. I'm your host, Jaime Oikle. Today, got a great episode for you. Got Leo Moura, owner and operator of 4 different restaurant concepts based in the northern Atlanta area. So we're going to talk a lot about that stuff. Going to be great to hear your story, Leo. So tell folks a little bit about your background first, the different restaurants and the concepts, and we'll dig into a bunch of stuff. Go ahead.
So well, first and foremost, thanks for having me. We have 4 restaurants. Ujalo is our oldest one. It's about 10 years now. And that is our Italian concept. Lagarde is American New Orleans roots. G's Pizza, we added right after the COVID. We thought it's the same space as Giallo, but it has its own kind of a space. Mm-hmm. And La Antoinette was our very, very last concept. Has morphed. You started as Lagarde. We didn't think that was a good concept for the area. We decided to change it to La Antoinette, which is now a French concept in Milton, Georgia. So
I've seen, or let's stick with the different concepts, right? So you go from fine dining, French, right, to pizza, which is more casual, and the other ones seem to be in between. The Italian seems a little bit more upscale. The New Orleans one seems kind of casual, and you can layer in. This is just me poking around the web, getting a quick feel. So I think it's so interesting that you're spanning the different categories. Tell me about, how you guys enter the different markets, how you think about different segments. What do you got?
So let's talk about Ujalo. Ujalo is supposed to be a casual concept, but the guests kind of dictated what we would become and became. And we came from another company where it was a fine dining, and they decided to the guests kind of decided that we would be the fine dining, so be it. So we just took that lane. Lagarde, we looked at the space, we looked at the neighborhood, and we thought a more casual concept would be in demand. It has a large, beautiful patio, and by observing also the restaurants around, that's what we decided to go with, and it's been a hit. Mm-hmm. G's was more of a step down, so where we have a very fine dining restaurant, which is Ujalo, but in a little corner separate from the rest of the restaurant is a little bit more casual, and guests really like that. Now La Antoinette is the one that I spoke right at the beginning, and we morphed from casual to a fine dining. And again, that was driven by the guest much more than by us. Sometimes we do make mistakes.
I see referenced in as your co-founder, Chef Jaime. Not to be confused with me, but did you guys work together before? What's the connection there? Have you guys known each other for a long, long time? What do you got?
Jaime and I have worked together for, let me think about it. It was 10 years, 13 years I was with Bucket Life, and now 10 years. So it's 23 years I've been working together, but it was 13 years prior. We were working at Veni Veni Vici in Midtown Atlanta, and for the Bucket Life Restaurant Group, which is a very large group here in Atlanta and very well known. I think they are absolutely the pioneers in fine dining in town. Pano has helped us tremendously with the Ujalo concept when we started. And that's how I met Jaime. It was at Veni Veni Vici. And so it's been a while, and I think he's a phenomenal partner.
Let me ask you about the pizza part and COVID. You guys went through that as operators, and you've learned about takeout and delivery. Was that obviously it was hard for everybody at that time, but bring me through the pain and stuff you guys learned in that process.
The biggest, so there were several things. Number one, retaining the staff as you're going through all of that was one of our priorities. The second priority there was making sure that we wouldn't um, go away from the concept just because now we are more of a to-go versus like a, it's much more like a fast food in a way because you have a bunch of to-go and people are ordering and they're coming in and they're picking up a certain time. So we were trying to stay true to the concept, irrelevant of what happened with COVID. And the third one that I found that was one very challenging was actually the technical aspect of it. And what I'm talking about is website and updating that to update the menu so people knew what to order. It was extremely challenging. And as you know, the internet is the Wild West. That is not a menu with set prices. Everybody has a different price, and you never know if it's going to be a good product or not, and if it really meets your expectations. So I think the third one was really, really hard. Everything else from landlord to they were working with us. So I have no, I thought that would be the hardest thing, and was actually they were very, very willing and they wanted to help us stay in business. So I think the third one was hard. The whole tech part of it was really hard.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I know some people obviously had the opposite effect with their landlords, and things went sideways quick for a lot of operators. But so I want to go to the staff stuff in a bit, but let's stick with the tech stuff for a second, because it's interesting to explore. You say that was challenging for you, and it's challenging for a lot of restaurants. They're hitting you with a lot of words and buzzwords and phrases that you might not be familiar with as restaurant operators, right? We're a little behind the curve tech stuff. And so it seems, like a lot of Greek that you're hearing. And at that time, you knew you had to do stuff, right? And there was a lot of pressure to get tech operating. So tell me how you guys operate. You're from the outside looking in. You're 4 restaurants. You're sizable operation, but maybe there might not be a marketing coordinator. There might not be a tech person. You're probably wearing all the hats. What does it look like for you guys?
It was complicated because you're doing a lot of things. Luckily, at the time, we did have a marketing person that was helping us out. That didn't last very long. I can tell you that because there was so much uncertainty that we were not sure that we didn't know what would happen financially wise. But really so we will use WordPress for our websites, for instance. And in order for you to update certain things in there, it can be fairly complicated.
Right.
And we didn't have ChatGPT or any of the AI stuff to help us out. So it was really, you need to call someone and say, hey, my website's down for whatever reason. Can you help me out? And then I need to update this. Can you make this easier for me to update, the menu and stuff like that? So it was, that's the tech part that is complicated. And I think is also, like you said, becoming now, even let's depart from the COVID era, it's becoming complicated now as well, because you have a lot of people saying, I can do this for you, I can do that for you. And a good example is, for instance, POS systems, right? You have Toast, which can encompass a lot of things, but it's not the all and be all. And I can tell you that for sure. They have a lot of areas that they are not good at it yet, although their salespeople tell you that they're very good at it, which is not true. Now, there are parts of it that they excel, I believe, which is sales reports and able to get someone on your POS. All of the things, they're very good at it, but there are certain things are not there yet. I can definitely vouch for that.
For sure. Well, what I imagine, and this is one of the biggest fears as a restaurateur, right? Knock, knock, knock. Hey, Leo, I got this great new thing. You got to check it out. 2 seconds later, knock, knock, knock. Leo, you got to check this out. This will be great, right? And then you get an email, check this out. And so all of a sudden now you said, oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. And now you have 4 different things feeding into the kitchen, and this is printing out and that's printing out. And we've talked to restaurateurs and folks that have dealt with that, right? And each one sounds good and then you have what's called a messy tech stack, right? And so I've been waiting for years, and it doesn't exist yet. I know they're building in the background, and people are getting better and better at it, but there's still someone who's great at this silo, inventory and ordering, and someone who's great at the POS, and someone who's great at the marketing. Eventually, we're getting close. Someone's going to be like one solution, but for now, folks like you are dealing with multiple vendors. Some talk to each other, some don't, and so forth. And so it does get very confusing. And later on, meanwhile, you're dealing with people and staff and food and inventory and everything else. So how do you balance those things? How much time do you spend in that tech space?
We started with one POS, changed to another one, and then changed to the final one, which is now Toast.
There you go.
So it's a try and error. I do believe that right now, what we have is what's the best. It does not mean that for private dining you're going to use the same type of tech. We use a different one, which is triple C. We find it was much better at it. And exactly what you're saying, some of them integrate, but even integration is not 100%. And for instance, Yelp, Toast, all of those guys offer different types of seating or reservation systems, right? And really, we use Open Table because we find that's to be the best one at what they do. And I think also, I've got to a point where I place all my eggs in one basket at one point, and I found that was a mistake too. So that's why I have the best people doing the best work within that app or whatever that tech is, versus trying to put all in one spot. I think also is a mistake to just have all in one spot. I think that would hinder you immensely. It would become literally a monopoly of one specific tech company, and that's I don't think that's good for anyone.
So you find in your 4 operations and so forth, there are you do run some different things because one is a better fit in this environment and another might be a better fit in another environment. So you probably are experiencing some economies of scale across the brands, but you're still picking and choosing. Is that fair?
Correct. That is very fair.
Okay. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenging space, and again, wait till next week. Something else is going to be shooting at you to try this.
You have no idea how many financial emails I receive per day, to a point where we run our emails through Google, and I received a note from Google saying, "You have spammed too many people. Not spammed too many people. It's almost like I'm being attacked." And I was like, "No, I'm not being attacked. It's just
everybody wants a piece of the business, right? We have a great solution for you, and they do have great solutions, but you have to operate in so many things. So let's go to the people equation. We'll talk about some other stuff, but I'm curious about your thoughts on leadership, on management, on people. Do you bring folks across the brand? Do they have that opportunity to promote within the brand, which I think is very valuable? How do you guys think about it?
We do. Our preferred method is within the brand, because then they understand how we operate. Now, I have seen that it's becoming harder to actually promote within, because a lot of people just want the restaurant to be just a stepping stone for them to move to their next thing. And so for us, it has become a little bit harder to find those people. So we started to look for people outside, and we actually have been very successful with it. I only have right now one general manager that comes from within. All the other 2 came from the outside, and they're great people. Number one thing that I think of management and people, they got to be personable. They got to be just good people at heart first. And that's kind of the way we hire for a lot of our positions. It's more about what that person is all about. Experience, we can teach people what to do as we go.
Yeah, well, we'll stay there then. Tell me about your hiring and your onboarding. How do you bring people into the brands?
We use several ways to trying to recruit people. One, sometimes we will ask some of our servers to place a note on social media saying we're looking
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
servers. The second one, and it's Indeed, we use that. And then the onboarding process is once they come in, we sit down with them, we go through all the documentation and manuals, and that's a big deal that I didn't realize when I started the restaurant. Really, what a manual is a document, and it's a pretty serious document if you think about it. That is binding that person to your organization. So that's where we start. And once
Mm-hmm.
that happens, we go through the process of training, which is another big process because it doesn't take just like, a lot of people think that training happens in 1 week or 2 weeks, whatever that is. No, training is a recurring thing or theme that it's always a process. For instance, you cannot train somebody in 2 weeks to just know what types of wines we use. A lot of in each
Mm-hmm.
one of our brands, we have certain types of wines that we use. Italian concept, Italian wines, French wines. We also have some American, but the bulk of it is what the brand is about. So
I could go in a whole bunch of directions based on what you just said, but I'll stick to the training piece for a second because yeah, you can have a dedicated hour-long session sometimes where you're getting deep, but you can also do a pre-shift every day and talk a little bit about so you're constantly training. Do you guys do pre-shifts? If you do, what do they look like? What are you covering? What do you think?
every day. So we do pre-shifts every day.
Mhm.
And the whole premise of the pre-shift is to pass information.
Mhm.
It is also for you to receive information. I hate lineups that are, literally just a struggle between front and back of the house. I like lineups that are, we call lineups that are positive and it brings the best out of everyone. And really, what you're trying to figure out is number one, pass the information, do a little bit of training. It's very little when you do that.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, now I want to hear what they have to say about what they have heard from the guests because literally they are your eyes and ears because you're not touching every single table. They are. And they're able to tell you, the guests don't like this dish or they love this dish. We need to make some changes on a dish, or they also will help me with, if I have someone training, I have my staff at a point where I'll ask them, is this person going to be a good fit or not a good fit? And listening to them is extremely important. Sometimes the person that's just being hired will divulge information that they never will tell you on an interview. And so you need to take your time to talk to them. But again, lineup is just a very important part of our organization for all the restaurants.
Yeah, it really is. I'm glad you walked through it like that and emphasize how important you feel it is. And if there's restaurants that aren't doing it or you're stepping away from it or you only do it every once in a while, really hammer that into your system because it is a great time to connect and uh, call the staff out for doing something great. Tina, I heard from a customer that you were fantastic the other day. People love to hear that stuff in public.
Yep.
Do you look for opportunities inside of your lineup to pat staff on the back? Do you have another mechanism to give staff recognition and feedback?
Absolutely. We do. If I, like the other day, I was observing some reviews that we have on Google,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and one specific servant was being mentioned several times.
Yeah,
I am not
sure.
there for all lineups. All the managers conduct all the lineups, but from time to time, I will come in and I will commend that person uh, personally in front of everyone to let them know that they
Nice.
have excelled in their job and that's extremely important what they have done and how much we appreciate. I also sometimes, from time to time, I will reward them with cash. That goes a
Love it.
long way.
Love it. Absolutely does. And it doesn't have to be a lot either, right? It doesn't have to be $1 million.
Mm,
Just here's 20
no.
bucks. Here's 50 bucks. Here's a gift card to the movies. I
Here's a
mean,
bottle of wine. Here's
yeah.
here's this. So there's various ways for you to really uh, tell someone how much you appreciate them. And sometimes
Mm,
just the fact that you're telling them in front of everybody else, hey, you did a phenomenal job. It's sometimes goes further than even money.
Yeah, listen, it comes up in a lot of our calls here, praise in public, but you can't say it enough. Praise in public, praise in public. Like
Yeah.
you think, oh, they know, they know I think they're great, but no, like say it in front of other people. It gives people such a great feeling, and it's such a missed opportunity that we don't do at home. You don't do with your friends. You don't do with your business people. Like praise people in public. I promise you can never do it too much. You said something really interesting, looking at your Google reviews. Okay, so let's go there. So you're in there periodically, I'm sure, with 4 concepts. There's quite a bit going on in there. What do you look for? What do you see? How do you react to both the positive and the negatives?
As everybody knows, negative is never good, and we all hate it.
Yeah, you do.
But we got to take the good with the bad. And we respond to, I would say, almost 100% of all the reviews.
Good.
And irrelevant of where it is, my nemesis is Yelp, and I think is the nemesis of everyone. I think the way also reviews are, I think they're unfair. They should change how they do it, because you can have 100 reviews and you have one bad, it pulls your overall rate, down, and it should be should have a different system. And but most important, read your reviews, take a look at it, take every single information. Sometimes on a great review, you will find some little nuggets of some advice that the guest is giving it to you, that sometimes we just look, say 5-star, and then you just move on. No. Read the review. They took the time to place a review. Take the time to read them and address it. People like you, I talked about the server being recognized and thanking them for doing a great job. Tell the guest, thanks for taking your time. We love your review, and we look forward to see you again. So it's simple as that.
I'm glad you brought it up. So I want to reemphasize it. Have you, can you share one of those nuggets that maybe came up in a review that you wouldn't have thought of yourself? You're like, I don't know, I'll just make something up. I mean, the music is always so loud in that place. I mean, have you ever heard anything that repeatedly like, oh shoot, I didn't think about that, but let's address it?
My rule is in life as a whole is, if I heard something twice from 2 different spots, that may be something we need to address. One of the reviews that we got was that a certain dish wasn't hitting well. So what we did was look at what the dish was and rectify. It was a dressing on a salad that we rectified very quickly, and from that point on, it became a hit. So it was as simple as that. And they just said, everything was great. I would have had. I liked the salad, but it wasn't my favorite. All the other, dishes were great. So then I saw another review kind of said the same thing, and I said, okay, now we got to take a look at this dressing or the salad as a whole and make some modifications. And it was simple as changing the dressing, and that was it. We never heard anything. And the other thing it gives you the opportunity is you tell your managers, or if it's you, doesn't matter who it is, you're going to line up and say, hey guys, can we, whenever we serve the salad, can you make sure that the guest is loving it? Not just liking it, but loving it. And so those are the little things that review will give you, and will help you with your operation.
Yeah. I'm glad you walked through that. So one thing I want to go back to on the marketing side, and maybe we'll touch on social today, maybe we won't, but what are you guys doing to collect your customer information, customer data? It could be an email, it could be an SMS message. How is your staff mentioning that you have this club or this opportunity? How do you guys think about data?
Data is complicated. Gathering data and retaining is really hard.
Yeah.
We have a list which we have 16,000 people, and it's not a big list. I've heard of other lists that are massive.
Sure.
But you could have a list of 100,000. If you only have 2% of the people opening, it does not really
that's right.
Matter. You want everybody to be open. That means you have a dirty list, and you may want to clean that up, because most of your emails may be going to actually spam. We have a pretty strong way. We have a 2-way verification for the guest, that it's an European compliance, and that helps you making sure that the person that signed up for it really want that to receive your newsletter.
Sure.
And so it retaining is also complicated because, and especially because we have 4 concepts, we're sending emails about all the concepts constantly. At least not constantly, but at least once or twice a week, we'll send something updating, because I think it's important for the guests to know what's happening in your restaurant. And recently somebody told me, well, do you know? Well, why do you do you think you're not bothering the guest? Don't you think you're bothering the guests way too much? I said, I don't think so. If repetition would bother us, we wouldn't listen to the same song over and over and over. So
I could dig on a few things here. Frequency is a great topic. Now I have a question for you. Does your email convey information about multiple concepts in the same email, or is it one at a time?
Correct.
This is about one. Which one?
All in once.
Okay.
All in once. And what I have tried to do is, when I send it out and I send like the image, I try to put not a lot, but enough information there that conveys what you're trying to pass right now and what's happening on a little corner, right? That is continuous. And I do that for all the restaurants. That's kind of how I thought it was the most efficient way of doing it.
Yeah, well, the reason I ask is you could take multiple approaches to this, and I like the way you're doing it, because the reality is your customer isn't always going to eat at only one place, right? People have
Correct.
different needs, they like different things, they have different experiences, and they may have a special event, they want to go to the fine dining, they may want pizza, and so if you keep them in silos, your customers may not know that, oh, those are the same people that I like, so it's good for you to expose folks to your different brands, and if they are fans of you, now they can experience you in some different formats. So I do like that, and it simplifies your life a little bit as well. But frequency is a good topic, right? If they're not interested, they'll unsubscribe. That's how it is. Correct. At the end of the day. There's plenty of brands that I get every single day. Royal Caribbean, it's like, but it's like every single day, but it's okay. And there's plenty of brands that I get periodically, but if you're not staying in front of your audience, it's a missed opportunity, because when it is time, Correct. We happen to be recording on a Friday, and I'm going to be going out to dinner tonight, with some friends. We haven't decided where we're going to go yet. I don't know, I'm not sure, but in my marketplace, which is a suburb of Orlando, there's a lot of places I can go to dinner tonight.
Correct.
I can tell you right now, nobody has been in my email box this week, and we go out to eat a lot. So people have missed opportunities. There should be 4 or 5 things in my email box right now saying, Jamie, you're probably going to go out this weekend, check us out. No one is in my email box. And so restaurants, I hope you're not doing it. I give you my email address and you're not using it. Like, you're not using it. Missed opportunities. So it sounds like you guys are active in that space. Good. Are you doing anything else marketing that you find has been good to get repeat business?
We do so much stuff. It's not even a joke. From dollar oysters at 2 locations, $2 grilled oysters. We do unlimited steak and fries at La Antoinette. We have pasta classes. We have cocktail classes. We have so much to put out there and tell people about it. Wine drinking, wine tasting, wine dinners. So we have a lot of stuff. Pizza of the month. We have recently we had a Peroni. You order a pizza, you got a Peroni for free.
Perfect.
Peroni was doing that. So we do a lot of stuff. So we cannot not put something out, because it would be a mistake on our part. Half price bottle of wine on Wednesdays at Lagarde. So we do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you have a lot going on, which is great. And I'm sure social echoes that as well. You probably are posting on Instagram and Facebook and elsewhere.
TikTok.
Okay.
And Instagram. It's all over.
Okay. Those are the 3 that you spend the most time with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, those are the 3.
Okay.
It's hard to keep track of all of it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, a million percent accurate. All right. Well, we've covered a lot. Something that I'm curious about. This is you're a relatively young guy, but we put together an exit planning document. Exit planning. Yeah, you look great. Exit planning document on our restaurants on our site recently, and when I was putting that together, it was fascinating to go through that process, because exit planning really is it's really operating now. It's having systems in place, now, so that if you ever do decide to walk away, the people can come in and things kind of run themselves. How do you have you guys thought about the future? Like, you're an umbrella, are you going to grow, or are you going to exit it one day? Do you think about having stuff in place where you could turn the keys over tomorrow? How do you think about it?
SOPs, I guess, is
Mm-hmm.
where we're going towards.
Mm-hmm.
It's important. It's important for you to maintain your uh, uh, food cost,
Mm-hmm.
beverage cost. All of
Mm-hmm.
those things are, tied into SOPs. Exit strategy. I don't think I quite have one, because it just dawned on me that I am good at what I'm doing. And I still have a lot to learn. Every day is a new day, and that's a new learning curve comes along with it. But I think that I finally have got to a point where I hit a stride. So I have not thought about an exit yet. But I can tell you this, if something were to happen to me today, for instance, I think that the team could run with it and do a really great job. That's really how I view that, and that is a lot of stuff in place in between my partner, our wives, that would just continue like nothing happened.
Yeah, that I mean, listen, we don't want you to get hit by a bus today or tomorrow, but yeah,
Me neither.
a lot of businesses would fall apart without the key person. But so you want to operate your businesses as if you could walk away, and so
Correct.
forth, and they would still survive and thrive and so forth. So as we go towards wrapping, I want to ask for if you could share. You can go either direction, or maybe we can do both. If you have a book recommendation, something you're reading now, or something you'd like to recommend to folks, or you have a favorite quote or a favorite mantra that you share with your team, and you can go in either direction.
The quote I would quote here would be: "Do it now. Don't wait until later. Make a mistake.
Hmm.
Act on it." If you're there, another one that I say all the time is, if you're in hell, might as well shake hands with the devil. Just keep going. Just
Yeah.
it is the restaurant business is not an easy process, and it's not just about restaurants. Recently, one of the books that I read was um, the Trump book. I forgot the name of the title of the book, and I thought there were little nuggets of things in there that I thought was interesting. And
Mm-hmm.
The Art of the Deal, I thought was
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I read various different books, and I totally enjoy reading. Most of the time, what I'm really listening to is kids. I have 4 kids, so I'm listening to kids' books in a car. I cannot remember all the titles because there's so many. I told my kids, "Say, you guys have read more books than I have in a very long time." And I would tell people, irrelevant of what your belief is, don't take sides. Just read about everything and anyone that comes across. You will find that something interesting will be there.
Yeah, that's great. Of course, I agree with that, and I love to hear that the kids are reading, because it's so powerful for them to be exposed to books, and whether it's an audio format or an actual
Yeah,
book format, a real thing you can touch.
the latest one was this. My kid is reading, so he's missing. There's 2
Yeah,
books missing
yeah.
in here, right?
Ah,
The Lord of the
classics.
Rings,
Yes, I
and
love it.
so he
I
took
love it.
the other 2 with him, and he doesn't read. He like devours.
Those
Uh,
books are intense too, by the way. I mean, I remember reading that as a kid. You can get lost in those ones for a little bit.
I cannot keep track of who is who. I can take that.
The other thing you said is the nuggets piece. So again, I tell folks, I read a little bit every day. I got some books over here. I got books in the background, but it's not about reading for 5 hours. I'll read
Mm,
like I'm reading this kind of salesy type book, and you can just pull away like those little nuggets that you can bring to your business today or tomorrow or next week. It's not like an intense exercise like going to school. Like don't whatever your school journey was, it
yeah.
may have been hard, you may have loved it, you may not, but education continues. And so just pick up a book, read for 10
Yeah.
minutes. I guarantee you'll find something useful. Take that,
And
use it.
and
Yeah.
you don't need to take someone's word to the to the T. Just read something that
Mhm.
it may be the little like a. When I read Danny Meyer's Setting the Table, I think is the name of the book. What a,
It is.
it's a great book. There's a lot of nuggets in there. Does it mean that I'm gonna take everything he does to the and use it? No, but he has a lot of knowledge in there that restaurateurs should take a look at it and read it and see how he strikes some of the deals. That's the
Yeah.
part that I like, and I think is the part that we did not touch, which is landlords and documents. You got to read that thing. I know it's boring, but you got to read it in its entirety, and you need to have a lawyer that's on your side because it's tricky. And that is a lot of little nuances and words that will change something in its entirety. So
Yeah. Yeah.
take the time to read, try to understand. It's important, very important. Even your LOI is important.
It is. I'll take an opportunity to plug our good friend here at the show, Dale Willerton, the lease coach. I mean, gosh, if you're a restaurateur and you need help with your lease, Dale is so fantastic at this stuff, pointing out all the special stuff to negotiate on your behalf. You try to do it yourself, man, you'll get lost really quickly and you'll make so many mistakes. So yeah, use a lawyer, use someone like Dale. You can find him at theleasecoach.com. But yeah, you have to get that right because it's not an insignificant part of your operation at all.
No, and it comes at the end of a lease. It could be something so simple as that is not some kind of arbitration, and you didn't understand. You thought that was, a big deal, and you end up striking, and that was actually your way into staying your lease for, to renew. And each state has its own nuances, so you gotta have a good professional giving you the right advice, not just the good advice, the right advice.
100% agree with that one for sure. So let's go to closing parting thoughts. If you want to share any final words of wisdom, tell folks, because you have different brands, different websites, send them out to your properties, and we'll kind of start to wrap up.
Visit our website. One of them is ilgialloatl.com, which spells ILGIALLOATL.com. In there, you find the tabs for all the other restaurants. That's a great way of meeting them. We're also on Instagram, and just search. You find it. I don't know what the tab is. I gotta be totally honest.
Yeah,
I have so many of them, and I'm like, I don't even know. Is it at Lagarde ATL? Is it at UGL ATL? I can't remember all of them. But that's one place. Final thought is you gotta love what you do. If you're gonna decide that you're gonna do restaurants, you gotta love it. You gotta walk in there and be psyched every day. If you don't, this is not the business for you. Don't take this as a what is it called? I would like to just open a restaurant for fun.
Yeah, it'll be
If
fun.
that's what you're going for, you may want to rethink that. It's a hard business with a lot of nuances and trends and a lot of movement. So you got to stay on it and you got to really enjoy it. So.
Yeah, Leo, thanks. It's only getting harder. It's not getting easier. It's maybe 20 years ago or 25 years ago. You could do my mom's got a great recipe. Let me open up a restaurant. It'll be fun. My pals will come in and get some beers and get some drinks. Everyone will love it. So, but no, it's a business. It is, you got to be on the penny, every nickel, every dime, and so forth, tracking it. So it's a lot. Folks, Leonardo Moura from all these beautiful concepts in Atlanta, a restaurateur extraordinaire. We'll put the link to one of the websites, or I will put all the links to the website in the show notes. But from there, once you get to one site, so I'll give you one again. So this one's easier for me to say. GSPizzeria.com. That's one of them. GSPizzeria.com. That'll get you to there, and then you can bounce around to the different brands, jump to the different socials. You guys are all over the place. So appreciate that. For more restaurant marketing, people, service, tech tips, and more, stay tuned to us at runningrestaurants.com. If you can do us a favor, if you like this, if anything helpful, please share the episode out, like it, rate it, review it. Wherever you listen to it, that would be super helpful to me and appreciated. We'll see folks next time. Thanks, Leo.
Thank you. Appreciate it.